Speak a little about mindfulness, because just like there's nothing inherently wrong with certain bodily postures, especially without intent, and surely deciding to be aware of my body and aware of the present moment, this could be defined as mindfulness, and I doubt you would say that's wrong.
Well, definitely not. And that's a strong vein in the Catholic tradition. The Desert Fathers talked about watchfulness.
Mm-hmm.
And St. Teresa of Avila gives as one of our first counsels for prayer to just cultivate a basic attentiveness in your prayer.
Yeah, recollection too is another word she uses.
Recollection is very important. And I didn't realize it, but that's what a lot of the yogic exercises I was doing actually were active recollection. And St. Teresa praises this greatly.
Explain how someone can be actively recollected if they haven't heard this terminology before.
So recollection is where you really go into your soul and ground yourself more there so that you're more focused on what's important and more there with the presence of God in your soul. You can do recollection in lesser forms, for example, where you just recollect your thoughts, where you go into your head for a second to organize your thoughts. You know, all right, I'm not really sure where to proceed from here. Let me organize my thoughts, and then we can think about this in a better way. That's recollection of the mind. Recollection of the soul is where you do something similar with your whole spirit.
Okay. So what's your response when people say, like, what's your opinion on Catholic mindfulness?
That gets very dicey because usually it's associated with the mindfulness that's in secular society. The term mindfulness itself can just mean being aware of your mind. Being mindful just means sort of being conscious of what's happening. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with terms like awareness and consciousness. It's just that they kind of use a big hand wave and say, whoa, consciousness is the divine and that's everything, and that's what everything is reducible to. And then they use Buddhist techniques to realize that. You don't have to take my word for that again. Also, just look at Jon Kabat-Zinn, who's the father of modern mindfulness. He is a doctor, and he's really the leading figure in the modern mindfulness movement. Now, Jon Kabat-Zinn himself, in an interview, said, I assiduously avoid using the word secular, because once you use the term secular, you abstract the sacred out of it. Mindfulness is not secular, according to this guy, the father of mindfulness, and it's a practice to realize the sacred. Jon Kabat-Zinn was trained by Buddhists. He was a Zen Buddhist, actually. And he admits that his teachings, that mindfulness is the essence of Buddhism. So he's basically just taking a part of Buddhism, stripping it down, which Zen is already a very stripped down form of Buddhism, and then attaching his own stamp to it and bringing it to the West.
So would you prefer then that somebody use the term, instead of Catholic mindfulness, watchfulness or recollection, because it's you're blurring into something else when you talk about Catholic mindfulness? Is that your thought?
Yes, I think Catholic recollection would especially be a really good term, because recollection is something that's sorely needed. You know, when we're so busy and moving this way and that way and on our smartphones constantly, it really harms our recollection. And that's one of the basic contemplative practices that can do so much good for lay people out in the world.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you so much for watching that clip. If you enjoyed it, do us a favor by clicking like and subscribe. And if you really liked it, consider sharing. Thanks.